Thank you for joining us today for our media call with Sophie Schmidt from Canada Soccer Women's National Team. As usual, if we could put your microphone on mute until it's your time to ask a question. Since we have a lot of people on the call today, we're gonna start with a first round of questions, and if ever there is enough time, we'll do a second round afterwards. First, Sophie, thank you for being with us today. I would like to ask you first, how important is that camp right now for the women's national team?
Yeah, this is a very important camp for us. We are kicking off the new year. It's been about a year since we've last seen each other, so it's pivotal for us to get going on a good foot. It's an Olympic year, so the preparation it's short, and so we need to make sure that we're making the most of the time that we have together. And not to mention, we have a new coaching staff, so trying to incorporate their philosophies and get familiar with all the players. So very important time for our team.
Thank you, Sophie. We will now open to question. Neil?
Thank you, Vanessa. And Sophie, thank you for taking the time to speak to us today. I'm not sure how much has gone on at the camp yet. I know it's in the early stages. You're familiar with Bev Priestman from her time before with Canada Soccer, but can you give us a sense of, in the early days of the camp, what it's like working under Bev? Are there differences? Will the team be doing things in a different way?
Yeah, I think it's fair enough to expect that you're going to see a little different Canada under Bev, as it should be. And there's definitely a familiarity there with Bev. A lot of the girls have seen her before, especially the younger players that are coming through know her quite well. And it's kind of good that, you know, the coach already kind of has a base of what we're about as players individually, but also as a team, where we're coming from, our terminology. So that's really nice. But, you know, there's also a huge shift that the coaching staff put in prior to this camp. We had some Zoom videos going over tactics and philosophies. And so that was a huge win for us, so that we could be better prepared when we come into here and just start flying on the field with that stuff. So it's been nice. And I'm very excited for this tournament with Bev.
Thank you.
Thank you. Derek?
Hi, Sophie. Thanks for doing this. I just wanted to ask you about the tournament. And you guys start off with the United States right away. I know sometimes you'd like to lead up to your toughest game, but I guess, what are you looking for out of that game against the United States? Is it still going to be as hotly contested as all the games are against the US, or I guess what's kind of the attitude going into that game?
Absolutely. Every game against the US is a battle, fight tooth and nail till the end. We don't like them, they don't like us. So I think nothing changes in that regard. But, you know, I think we potentially could be a little bit rusty heading into that game, especially it being the first game we've played in a year, and the US has had a couple games. But the expectation and the standards are the same for our players. We come out, we expect ourselves to compete and to win. That's what we want to do. And especially against the US, I mean, what an opportunity. They're number one in the world. See where we're at right away heading into this Olympic year. And it's going to be a challenge for sure. But I think we're ready and we're eager to get this tournament kicked off against the US.
Thanks, Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Meaghen?
Thanks, Vanessa, and thank you, Sophie. I'm wondering, with such a long layoff between national team camps, were there any difficulties for the group to get back into the swing of things, or did it feel like no time had passed for you?
Definitely growing pains. This year has been special, to say the least. We've definitely missed each other, missed the team competing with one another. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because this camp, like, we have a bit of a pre-camp before the FIFA window opens, so not all the players are here yet. We have a bunch of younger players that are in a wider squad for the coaching staff to have a look at some players. So there's that. Like, it's a bit of an odd camp setting right off the bat, but we're so excited to be back together. Like, this is what we live and breathe for, and we want to play for Canada and represent. And so that hasn't changed, but definitely there's definitely growing pains first couple of practices, but you know, now that we've kicked off the dust, we're ready to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Signa?
Hi, Sophie. I just wanted to say thanks for joining us today, and also an early congratulations on what will be 200 caps for you very soon. What does that accomplishment say about you as a player, if I may ask that? And when you line up for that 200th match or appearance, who helped you get there?
Yeah. Gosh, 200. It's weird because it's 200, but it's also like, because it's been so long since we played together, I don't know what I'm more excited for. I think I'm just excited to go back on the field with my teammates. So there's that. But the 200, it's just been such an honor to represent Canada time and time again. Not a lot of players have the opportunity in terms of injuries or just opportunity. I was lucky enough to get a chance to start really young. I think one thing the 200 stands for is just durability and adaptability for me as a player. And for me, it's all those people along the way. It's teammates, it's coaches, family members, friends, my husband, along the way, being there for the highs and lows and just allowing me to pursue my passion, my dreams, no matter what. And it's definitely not a sole endeavor. And I wouldn't be here if it weren't for my teammates that I've enjoyed this journey with. I love the game. I love the people I get to play with. And I'm very thankful for this opportunity. It's crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you. John?
Yeah, hi, Sophie. Just to follow up on Signa's question regarding the 200 caps. I sort of looked it up, and apparently from 2011 to 2015, you played in 76 straight games for Canada. And then there was a period from 2016 to 2017 where you played 24 straight games. So as you said, you have a knack for durability. I was wondering if you could just kind of speak to sort of that consistency and sort of your durability. Has that sort of been the key to your success as a player, do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a quote where speed is I don't remember what it is. But anyway, I'm not the fastest player. I take care of my body, not prone to injury. So there's that adds to the being able to have a longevity and durability there. But also hats off to the people taking care of me off the field. But I think it's just also my adaptability in terms of I'm able to play midfield, I'm able to play center back, like attacking mid, defensive mid, because, players come in, they fill different roles, and I'm happy to just support the team and help other people come alive. And I think that's been a huge asset to my success is being able to be adaptable and support players in different positions and play what is needed of me in a team sport. And I think as an individual athlete, I would not thrive, but in a team environment, it's where I'm at my best and I can support the players. And I think that's the player I am. And I think that's why I've been able to have those stints of longer durability games back to back.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Sandra?
Thanks, Vanessa. Hey, Sophie, thanks for your time today. And just maybe following up with more questions about your 200, not to put you on the spot, but if you really had to pick a favorite moment, what do you think it would be over your career?
Favorite moment would definitely be that first Olympic medal. I think that whole tournament, that whole year, that build up, the bombing out of the World Cup to John coming in as a coach, rebuilding the program, our belief, and just that performance and that team environment and culture we created around that 2020 Olympics, and the loss against the US and then picking ourselves back up and just what that meant for Canada. I think that was probably the most incredible thing that I've experienced as a human and as a player.
Excellent. Thanks.
Thank you. Har?
Hi, Sophie. Hi, Vanessa. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us this afternoon. I also have a question about the 200 caps. Do you have maybe a fond memory of what you were feeling back in 2005 when you made your debut and how excited you were? I think you were 16 at the time.
Yep. I think my first cap was as a center back and we lost. I don't know though exactly. But I just remember coming in and being so grateful that I was called up. I was so scared, but just incredible humans and players around me demanding the most out of me, even though I was only 16 years old. But But I remember just looking around and having like Andrew Neal, Amy Walsh, Charmaine Hooper, these huge names of soccer, not to mention Christine Sinclair still playing. Just like I'm playing with these amazing players and they see me as one of them and they're holding me to the same standards. It was just incredible. And the example they set and just like they paved the path for me and so many other players, and just to be so grateful, but in awe in like competing with them, that was definitely a special moment. And it gave me like a hunger for more. I'm like, oh, I really like this. I want to stay and come back.
Thank you. Ashley?
Hi, Sophie. So my question is, can you describe what the transition is like from going to preseason training with the Houston Dash to now training with Team Canada?
Yeah. I only got about 4 or 5 days with the Dash in preseason prior to coming here. So the weather is about the same. But I think it's different. It's when you're in camp, you're full in 24 hours a day. Whereas in Houston, you get to check out at the end of training or when the training day is done. But here it's like we're preparing for a tournament right around. There's so much pressure to perform and show your skill prior to the tournament. And so I think just that the standard is higher, the quality, the speed of play is a bit different. And it's just a different group of people as well. But I don't know. It's different, but awesome. I love both environments, but it's definitely something special to come and play for your country.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paul, did you have any question?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Thank you. Follow-up question, Neil?
Thank you, Vanessa. Sophie, just following up on what you said about when your first camp with Canada and looking at the veterans, you spent half your life with the senior team now. Do you ever think about the fact that these youngsters, and there are quite a few of them at this camp, are looking up to you and saying exactly the same things?
You'd hope. I don't know. I feel like this inner child always coming into camp, and I don't see myself as having that same stature of like a Charmaine Hooper or like an Andrea Neal. It's different when you're younger and you're looking up to players. And now that I'm you don't have that same perspective. But there's definitely an expectation and a leadership thing that you have to bring to the pitch and in everything you do, and expect the most out of the younger players, that next generation, and show them, kind of lead them the way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Derek, any additional questions?
Yeah, in that same vein, Sophie, I just wanted to ask you about the makeup of this team. How does it compare to the teams that won those bronze medals in the last 2 Olympics? Is this kind of a good mix? Is it a younger team, or I know you still got some veterans there? How would you kind of rate this team?
Yeah, I think currently right now we probably have a younger team, a fresher team, that a lot of players that haven't been in the program consistently, and that's fine. But yeah, there's definitely the couple of veterans. There's this good chunk of players that is like middle range that have had that experience. They're playing in Europe, just phenomenal group of players. But I think that next younger generation, we're starting to see them be more included in these camps. And I think that's definitely a difference than what we've had before.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Meaghen?
Thank you. Sophie, you touched earlier on just the new coaching staff. I'm wondering what this camp has been like without Rhian Wilkinson in the mix for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, it's weird. It's always tough to lose one of your own. But we wish her well. She's an amazing human and player and coach. And you just move on. You roll up your sleeves and just kind of push forward. You trust the coaching staff here. They've been nothing but enthusiastic and expecting the most out of us. And I'm very excited to play for this coaching staff. Yes, Rhian will be missed, but we're ready. And if we ever play her, get ready. It's going to be a fight, but in a good way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Signa?
Hi, Sophie. I know a lot of people talk about the Canadian culture of the team internally. And I know Bev has talked about the Canadian mindset, and I'm wondering if you can describe in your own words what a Canadian mindset is, what the Canadian culture is like.
Yeah. I think the Canadian culture and mindset is just being like a great and good human first and foremost. And that's kind of shines through in everything that we do on and off the field. We hold each other accountable. And then it's that Canadian DNA, that grit, that like tenacity. At times, you know, we may not be the most technical team, but it's we're always up for the fight. We're always going to work hard, and that's our baseline, and that's a threshold we never dip below. And that's super important for this group and this team. And then everything else on top of that is something we build on. And I think it's continuing to grow that and expect that out of each other, that tactical understanding, holding each other accountable, being vocal, but definitely that being a good human first on and off the field, and then that working hard, that work rate, and then the tactical and technical stuff and pushing each other's boundaries.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. John, any additional questions?
Yeah, Sophie, not that anyone's sort of pushing you out the door, but I'm just curious if you have a sense of how much longer you'd like to play, and have you given any thought about what you like to do once your playing career is over? Is coaching in your future? Will you sort of still be involved? Has that sort of crossed your mind at all?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the length of my career. I'm just focused on the Olympics. Obviously, I signed a 2-year contract with an option of a 3rd year with Houston. So definitely want to continue to play for a little bit. You know, like once it's gone, it's gone. You can't go back. So I want to maximize that. And with regards to coaching and what's post soccer, I'm not sure yet. I definitely want to keep that coaching avenue open. I think it's important to give back, and especially, you know, we want as players to have a Canadian league and support our youth system, and kind of, we don't like everything that we built for. We want to make sure that stays and grows and continues to develop. And I think a part of that is giving back, and all the knowledge that we've been given, like I want to give that back. I don't know in what regard. It could be coaching 8-year-olds. Not sure yet, but definitely coaching will be something that I do. If full-time, I don't know, on the side, absolutely.
Great, thank you, and good luck with the tournament.
Sandra, do you have any additional question?
I do, if there's time for one more, if it's okay.
Yes.
Sophie, I know we talked about this a little bit. A lot of new faces in camp. For some of them, it's the first time. They've never been to a camp before. So as a veteran, what's your biggest piece of advice for them, and how to approach potentially making a roster that will face USA?
Yeah, I think one, just enjoy it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You're here for a reason. You've been invited because you're a good player. So trust in that. And then I think just bring your strengths. Like, you're here for what you can contribute. And so I think definitely rely on your strengths and just make the most out of any training session. Like, if you make a mistake, to be honest, the players aren't looking. We don't care. Like, move on, flush it, go to the next one, make sure you make that one count. And so I think it's just that stay present mindset, but work really hard, but also just like enjoy it. It's a pretty special place to be a part of.
Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Har?
Hi, Sophie. You mentioned a Canadian league a few minutes ago. I'm wondering, what do you think maybe needs to happen or needs to be in place for a Canadian league to be something that comes to reality?
I do not have all the answers for that. I know that there's a lot of people working behind the scenes that know a lot more than I do, but as a player, definitely support that league happening. And I think it's got to come. I don't know how. I don't have the answers. I can't answer your question, but as a player group, we really want to see it happen. We need it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Ashley, any additional questions?
Oh, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Aldo?
Hi there, Sophie. How's it going?
Good.
Just a quick question. What does it mean having a potential central midfield partner in Diana Matheson re-entering the fold, 100% fit and rearing to go, missing the previous tournament due to injury?
Yeah, Diest is an incredible player. She has so much experience, but it's beyond that. It's her technical ability, her ability to organize and lead on the field. She's just a world-class player, and she can just influence a game in like a second, both offensively and defensively. So she's definitely a leader on this team, and we're excited to have her part of the group. She's worked really hard.
Thank you. Sophie, last question for you. What has impressed you the most since the beginning of this camp?
Yeah, I think minus having to wear a mask all the time and getting nose jabbed, I think just how seamless it has been coming back into camp during all this craziness. It's been really great to see everyone and all of that, but I think it's like no time has passed and we're right back in it training, even though there's this whole COVID thing like hanging above us. We're dialed in, we're ready to go for this tournament. And I think people are very excited and motivated. And I think that's been the biggest standout, like distractions, push them to the side, and we're focused.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this media call. As always, if you have any questions, you can follow up with me afterwards. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Take care.